Hi and welcome to the studios of Tell Your Story Media. We're about to get into another episode of the Haines Hunter Show with John Haber and me, Pat Panetta. We'd love for you to like our video and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Haines Hunter Australia. Thanks for watching. Here comes the show. And welcome back to the Haines Hunter Show. I'm Pat Panetta here at my Tell Your Story Media studios. And I've got my hands on him again and I've plonked him down in front of a microphone. John Haber from Haines Hunter, he's here as well.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks for having me.
No worries, John. Yeah.
It's been an interesting journey. We've been to Sydney Boat Show since. Spoke about that last time.
Yes.
We had a really good, successful show. And now you've got me back in the studio,
Right. That's right.
which is not normal, but
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
No, we've got you ready to go. We're giving you a cup of coffee and we've got our special guest in here too. So John's brought in a customer to talk about your experience. Terry joins us in the studio. Welcome to the show there, Terry.
Thanks for having me, Pat, and John, thanks for having me involved. It's something that, we've had our boat since 2008, and I know at the time we did a lot of research in upgrading from what we had, aluminium boats and other fiberglass boats, but it was a no-brainer for us when we were looking for a boat. My brother and I used to see a lot of Haines Hunters on the water, so we did do a bit of research on it and thought, yeah, this is the right boat for us. And back in 2008, we made the idea to buy a boat and bought a 3-4 boating.
Now, the research that Terry mentions as well, that's what you do, isn't it? You don't just sort of walk in and get a boat, and that's part of the reason why we do this show. So what sort of research, John, should Terry be doing, and what did you have to look at to sort of work out that it's okay for you? You know what I mean?
Well, look, it's funny you asked that question because Terry's probably one of those customers that I remember quite vividly. Terry and his brother did do a lot of research. They took a lot of boats out. Opposition, fiberglass. They also took some aluminium boats out. And they were hard taskmasters. They didn't give us much to go on with, but I think we let the boat do the talking, and Terry can explain how he sort of came out to making that decision. I think it was a pretty ordinary day that we took him out on a demo, and I think the boat did the rest of the work.
Yeah, right. The hard taskmaster like to really make attention to detail. You guys are good mates now. That was a little while ago. I could see you.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Look, it's good because he's right. We did do a lot of research on the boat, and we did go out and water test on boats, and it was a no-brainer for us to invest into a Haines Hunter, and obviously the investment's quite significant at the time. And yes, we have become good friends through not only just us purchasing a boat, but obviously through business as well. And now it's become sort of like a family type thing, which it's been great.
okay, so let's talk about that. Well, you made the purchase, and what's happened after that, John? Talking about the value of having a boat and the lifestyle and what it does for you and your family.
Well, look, I mean, for us, we've got obviously, thousands of Haines Hunter customers around the country, and, to form not only a relationship from a client base, but also, from a personal friendship, it's one of the advantages of being, part of this business. It's one of the key things that I really enjoy. I've met a lot of great people. We've got a lot of fantastic customers, and we can get to know, some of the real things that they want out of a boat, and we can utilise that not only from a friendship point of view, but bringing that to our research and development department, making sure that those little 1%ers that make the difference, we can accommodate through building a better boat. And when you've got that relationship and you can form these relationships, like with Terry, for example, and others, people feel comfortable telling you what they think the positives are, but also the negatives and how you can make your product better. As far as the boat's concerned, Terry, I know, uses the boat quite extensively, out in the Southern Ocean, catching all different species of fish. They've taken it up the east coast of Australia, and the boat purchased in 2008, so about 17 years ago, yes. Keeps it in good condition, and it's a great investment because he he would get more than what he paid for it now. And that's one of the key features of buying or owning Haines Hunter, that it's a great investment, but not only investment in a financial investment, but Terry can explain how he's utilised the boat and how it's brought his family together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've got my son now is 29 years old, my daughter's 26, and they, when we first bought the boat, they were excited about getting a boat and taking them out fishing out in the bay, obviously for their flatheads and snapper and whiting, to obviously going out to the ocean as well, and having a boat like that, and the stability and the ride and the safety, aspect of it all, making sure that if we do get caught out in some weather, that the boat's going to get us back safely, and that's a key thing too. The other thing is too that the kids, even though they're adults, they still do come on the boat with me as well, and that's, for me, that's exciting, because they do say that kids get to a certain age and they drift off, but the boats kept us together and as a family unit. So yeah, look, it's been good having that, and having a Haines Hunter, like John just mentioned, what I paid for and what I'd get today. You don't really get that sort of a returning investment in anything that you buy other than a home. So yeah, for us, it's a good buy.
And that's unique to Haines Hunter. The brand is strong and the boat's sort of growing value. It's a credit to you and your business there, John.
Well, look, the brand, has been around for a long time, and I don't like taking credit for anything, to be honest with you. It's really a team effort. But also, where customers like Terry and many others, are happy with their product, that's what we want, and we'll let them tell the story, which then obviously, comes back to other potential customers that are looking for a Haines Hunter, new or used. It just retains that high resale, and we can say officially that it is the most researched fiberglass brand or available fiberglass brand in the country, but it also has one of the highest resale values out of all brands.
Well, that's a bonus. Absolutely. You reckon, Terry, to have that, and you just mentioned that the bonus that you've got this boat and the resale value is high. What do you remember about that day? Are you saying that was sort of you tested a few boats, you gave John a bit of a hard time and a few hard questions? What do you remember about that whole experience for all our viewers and listeners who think, okay, I'm going to get in there and do the same?
Well, it's just like anything you buy, isn't it? You've got to take it out for a test ride, and you want to see what this thing can do, and how it performs on the water. So I was pretty harsh and said to John, okay, well, let's go out and, in whatever weather it is, I don't care. I want to see what the ride's what's gonna be, and obviously with his experience and knowledge of the product and how the boat performed on the water was a key element for us to make the decision in buying the boat. So for us, it was it was a lot of that, and John's guidance also too helped with us buying the Haines Hunter and seeing the brand also on the water. A lot of other people having it as well. So for me, it says that it's a boat to invest in.
And what about people like, you're a pro, you've been doing boating for a long, long time. John sort of obviously knows boating as well. But what about for people like me who like the idea, well, have some experience with boating? What should I be looking at to get involved with as well? Not to be intimidated by it all, just get in there and have a go and sort of speak to the experts and introduce the boating experience into your life and your family's life? What do you reckon for newbies?
I think certainly boating or owning a boat can be somewhat intimidating to someone who hasn't got the experience. But what's happened over the years with technology and new designs, for example, trailering has become much more simpler to launch and retrieve your boat. A lot of the trailers are now drive-on trailers. They house the boat well. They make it easy for, launching and retrieving with certain latch systems. You've also got, a lot of the cars are much more accommodating for towing, boats and caravans. They're all set up for that sort of thing. There's good braking systems. But there's also, within the Haines Hunter community, and the Haines Hunter Club, which we've recently launched. There's a lot of people within the club and also our community at Haines Hunter that are always happy to assist new people who are looking at getting into boating, or they've just bought a new boat. The club is actually a really good conduit to get to know other people who have boats, and pick up some good fishing spots, but also at the same time pick up more experience. And I think with our brand, we have, it's often said Haines Hunter's got a bit of a cult following. But we've got quite a, it's not so much a cult, it's a family oriented brand. And we've always, while I've been at Haines Hunter, tried to focus on, creating those long-lasting memories with your family. And, coming back to Terry, we've had some really good moments on the boats. We've had a few good laughs, had a few good catches.
Yeah.
But for me, I sit back and take it all in. And when Terry says, he's got his son George or his daughter Chloe on the boat, I sit back and I look at that. And that gives me the satisfaction of something that we've created as a brand and a mechanism to bring families together and, talk about the experience they had, in years to come around the kitchen table while they're having a meal. And it's nice to listen to those stories come back as a positive memory.
Terry, yeah, is that the real core of having the boat, the positive memories, the families, the family that it's kept together, just the experience of it all, I guess, and the satisfaction of getting out there as well? What would you say to people thinking about it, I guess?
Oh, look, it's absolutely, it's second to none, having kids on the boat, even at an adult stage, and their partners also wanting to come on the boat and experience, the fishing element or cruising or jumping off and having a swim in the water. For me, that's all it's all about. It's all about family, and that a boat will bring that to you. And you asked before, what would you be looking at? And that'd be one thing, is how can I get my family to spend time with me on the water or in general with you? And a boat does bring it to you. So, it's always been great. And John was right. We've had some great catches, some good laughs, sitting on the table meals and talking about our experiences for the day. And it's creating memories.
You're watching the Haines Hunter Show with me, Pat Panetta and John Haber, and we'd love your support. So if you want to see more content like this from Haines Hunter, please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Haines Hunter Australia. Back to the show. And being in a Haines Hunter, you're in a good boat and vessel and you feel safe and it's all convenient and everything is sort of where it should be and all that sort of stuff.
Well, it gives you everything that you require. And so obviously when you're looking at buying a boat, it's all those elements that you look at. What will the boat give me? And being comfortable, being assured that if I get caught in some weather, it's gonna sustain what it's built to do. Making sure that the family is safe. It's got all the elements that anyone would want. And so if anyone was to ask me, they'll be the first things that I want. I would say to them is, what do you want what do you want to get out of it? And that'll be the elements that I'll be telling them.
Yes, it's a nice surprise. You've also built a relationship with the guy who runs Haines Hunter. That was a nice sort of thing to happen in a way, yeah? I guess, as you say, there's a business relationship there as you run your business.
Yeah, correct, yeah. I mean, and we've done a bit of business together and it was good that we became friends or closer friends and family. It was funny. It was one New Year's day that we always get together down at St Leonard's, and I said to John, mate, come down. It's a really good day. Bring the family with you, and he did. And since then we've become really good friends, and the rest is history, as we say.
So creating lifelong memories with your family there, John, belonging to the Haines Hunter Family and Fishing Club. We mentioned that, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
How you get out of that. Enjoying pride and ownership of the heritage of the brand. And last time we spoke about, not resting on your laurels of the brand. You want to innovate and move forward, not look backwards and look forwards. That's something that's important. And
I think that's, like I mentioned before, having close relationships with a lot of our customers gives us that opportunity, or gives me that opportunity to make friends comfortable that they could discuss their boat at a level where we can then take something back to improve our own product. And not a lot of, companies would do that on this level. But I'd like to think that I'd make most people feel pretty comfortable that they can come forward, certainly to tell us that, we can do things a little different or design something different. But more importantly, when you invest in a Haines Hunter, and, this is Terry who has got a 600R, and, we're talking about that now is 17 years old, and at 17 years old, and it's still servicing him as good as the day that he bought it, and it will still serve him for another 17 years. But that would be his choice. The fact that the boat's got amazing resale value and it holds such a high value, it makes it so much easier for someone like Terry to make a decision to upgrade, because the gap is a lot narrower when it comes to spending more money on a new boat, that if you bought something else that might not fill in that gap and it's too far away, that you won't update the boat. But when you've got a boat that you've got a good high resale value, like a Haines Hunter, certainly makes it easier to move on and upgrade into our newer models. But, so there are some key benefits there. Having good resale, having a boat that, can stand the test of time. And like we've spoken before, there's been many critics on, how a boat should be built and what should be done moving forward, and we're constantly improving on our build. But you're hearing it direct from a customer. The boat's 17 years old. He's done hundreds and hundreds of hours on the boat, and it's as good as the day that he bought it. That's got to say something for the construction methods that we currently use and what we used in the past. And the points that I've raised over a couple of discussions that we had, it all comes down to this one common denominator. It's how well you look after your own things will determine how long any product will last. If you don't look after it, it lasts a lot less.
Good.
But if it's looked after, 17 years and it's still as good as the day that he bought it.
Agreed, Terry?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm a bit of a clean freak as well, so I'll make sure.
I was going to ask you about it after. Yeah,
we do. I mean, anytime we do use it, it's washed and it's flushed. So we make sure that we do keep it in good nick. And it's an investment. It's a big investment. So you got to make sure that you look after your toys, and that's one thing that I do.
We'd be nuts to make that investment and then not wash it afterwards, after it, or store it correctly. I mean, that's part of what you do, and that's part of the whole experience, really.
Well, yeah, of course. And I've seen some horrors. I've seen some people that don't care about their boats. Just leave them there, and unfortunately, they just rot away.
Yeah. 600R, I'll have to come out and have a look at it one day. What's the next one? Are you sort of dreaming about your next days?
My next one, let me tell you, I think I was looking at the 650 Limited, but he's come out with the 620 as well, which is quite a nice boat.
Yeah.
So,
is that right, John? Tell me about it. I've got to come into, I know I've been to the factory there and I've got the Royal Tour, but yeah, the new models and all that sort of stuff, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, look, the 600 series that we've just launched recently is doing really well for us. And again, it's, through customer feedback, we've been able to improve on the product in, ride quality, the stability, and also the functionality of the boat. And as you could imagine, we have things changing for us, electronics, the screens are changing, the size of the screens, technology changes, and you need to be able to accommodate that. We also have different stability systems now that, weren't, back in 2008, weren't as technologically advanced as what they are now. And we've had to change our product to accommodate some of those items so they can be fitted, which again makes boating easier, simpler for a new consumer. But I think, moving forward for us, we're not going to complicate our business. We've got a really good business model, got a great team of people, amazing customer base, and Terry will tell you how protective I am of those things that are part of the brand, because the brand is made up of all those elements. also got a big supply chain. And those responsibilities do fall on me to make sure that they're protected and looked after. But moving forward for us, we've got a couple of new models that we're working on. So 2026 is looking fairly exciting for new releases. We'll spend some time certainly on the 600 series, but the new 700 series, we've made some modifications and some changes on those vessels, which are going to be released at the Melbourne Boat Show, which is great. And I think customers will enjoy. Our 700 series is not everyone's cup of tea, because when you move from a 600 to a 700 series, it's a fairly substantial change. Most will have twin outboards compared to, say, single outboard application, and there is an element where new customers moving into that sort of area sometimes might struggle to adjust with that change moving into a bigger vessel. And it's the only analogy that I can think of. It's almost like driving, a sedan and now going to a four-wheel drive. It's a bit more body roll than a standard sedan. They handle a little different, but the new boats in the 700 series are exciting for us.
Handling of the boat, I guess the 700 series here, is that sort of what we look for when you get out there? I'm thinking, as John's talking about, adjusting to a new model, different size. You'd be okay with that, Terry? Or what do you look for if you talked about that test drive on the day? Guess it's just the way it feels on the water.
You're always going to look at how a boat performs in the water, because it's, it is an important factor of why you buy a boat. And for us, it was a key element of why we decided to buy the 600R rather than a smaller vessel. But yeah, look, the ride, the performance on the water, if you do get caught out in some weather, how is it going to handle? It handles it amazingly. So look, for us, it was a right choice when my brother and I decided to upgrade into a Haines Hunter, and we haven't looked back. Obviously, taking the kids out from being 7-8 years old up to what they are now, and it's still, for me, a key element is safety, performance on the water, and how you're going to get back if the weather does turn, and it does turn. Been caught out many times. So yeah, look, that's one thing that I think that anyone that's looking at buying a boat or looking at the Haines Hunters is that the ride, the construction of the boat, just all the elements of it is what will make them jump on one.
Yep.
I think Terry's right. The all those factors, when it comes to buying a new boat, are all important. You'll find that a fisherman really will focus on handling of the boat through, abnormal conditions, as being, a high priority. I mean, as a boat builder, I can tell you that from my point of view, when I'm sitting on the, R&D department table, we're, looking at a new boat, it's certainly also one of the high priorities. And safety is also, that handling also comes into the safety element. How forgiving is the boat? How will it function in all sorts of sea conditions? And a boat's not like a car where, our roads are made to a standard. The sea conditions, whatever gets dished out is, controlled by the man upstairs. And we need to sort of make a boat function in those conditions. But as you can imagine, you can't make a boat, and there is no boat out there that will function perfectly in all sea conditions. But as long as we tick most of the boxes, or as many as we can, that's important. But I think one of the other key elements that sometimes gets overlooked, and we don't talk about it enough, but we focus a lot on the functionality of the boat. Is it a boat that you can ski behind? Is it a boat that you can go diving in? Is it a boat that's Now, if your wife came on board and the kids, or you had some friends over, has it got all the nice creature comforts? Is it well finished inside? Does it house all the electronics that I need to cater for a fisherman, as well as the person that's just an average, say, boater or just a day boater? So a Haines Hunter is built for, we'd like to think, for most conditions, whether you wanted to spend a day on the water with the kids, and it's got all those creature comforts, and it's has it got the feel of a nice cruiser for the day, but at the same time, can it be a boat that is also a hardcore offshore fishing boat for the fishermen? So we would prefer to tick most of the boxes, because there are some boats out there that are particularly a one-purpose boat, which that affects the resale value of the product. So the more demographics the boat can entertain, the greater resale value we have, and that's a key element for a Haines Hunter boat that's been there for generations. For 65 years, it's been a focus, and we've continued that focus.
Okay, we encourage questions, don't we, on our social media? If people want to post or say what they want to sort of comment, but I reckon we've covered lots of stuff. I'm just trying to think of some questions that might come through, but we've covered all the bits and pieces. Well, if they come through, we'll pick it up on the next episode as well too, John. We can do that.
Yeah.
We'll do a bit of a live Q&A at some point. Okay, well, I'll come down to St Leonard's one day as well. Is it the day you guys got together? Was it a Christmas day?
It's always a New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. Oh, that would have been awesome.
Well, so we can't remember too much of it, but it was good.
That's right. Do you remember it? Yeah, you didn't have a good time, or you weren't there. What you guess, seafood? You'd eat all the seafood?
Oh, our background, we're Greeks, so we have a big gyro going. So when I said to John, look, we're going to have a bit of a spread there, and there's some gyro coming. He didn't think twice. He was straight down the highway and came down. So you're more than welcome any time to come down, Pat. But it'd be an experience for you.
Yes.
Not only just boating, but eating as well.
That's it. And again, as we sort of wrap it up, it's about the lifestyle. I know we keep saying that, but it really is. You're purchasing a boat, but it really is about your own
lifestyles and friendships, and and longevity in many things. Not only the product, but also having those key relationships.
Yeah. We'll have to book him in. Now that we've got him here, we'll book you in for the next session. But no, it's good, John. Well, this is a good episode, and of course, we'll continue the Haines Hunter Show. It's always a pleasure, John. Thank you, mate. Thanks for bringing Terry in. I don't know if you want to. I mean, I could.
No, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, then go. And there you are, another episode of the Haines Hunter Show here online. Thanks for viewing and listening. There you are, another episode of the Haines Hunter Show with John Haber and me, Pat Panetta. Thanks for viewing, and remember to like our video, and we'd love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Haines Hunter Australia. Thanks again, and from the whole team here at Haines Hunter, have a great day. Thank you.